Imagine telling one lie that could get someone killed. Not in a courtroom, not on the internet, around a fire. 40,000 years ago, a hunting party returns empty-handed. Everyone is starving. One hunter smiles. He says he saw a giant herd just beyond the next valley. Everyone believes him. At sunrise, the entire group follows. The herd never existed. By nightfall, children are weaker. The elderly collapse. A single lie has stolen a full day of survival. In the modern world, lies usually cost trust. In the ancient world, they could cost lives. That is why many anthropologists believe honesty wasn't just a moral value. It was a survival tool. But here's the strange part. Ancient humans didn't have police. They didn't have prisons. They didn't have written laws. So how did they deal with people who constantly lied? The answer begins with one simple fact. Humans survive through cooperation. Compared to lions, we're weak. Compared to bears, we're slow. Compared to wolves, we're poorly armed. Yet somehow, we spread across every continent except Antarctica. Why? Because we learned to trust each other. A single hunter could fail. A united group could survive. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm argues that early human societies depended on cooperation more than almost any other mammal. That cooperation depended on reputation. If people believed your words, you became valuable. If they stopped believing you, everything changed. Imagine preparing for a dangerous hunt. Who do you choose? The person who always tells the truth? Or the person who exaggerates every story? The answer could determine who comes home alive. Ancient humans didn't need written records. They had memory, and memory was powerful. Around every evening fire, stories were shared. Not just stories about animals. Stories about people. Who shared food. Who abandoned friends. Who kept promises. And who lied. Researchers call this indirect reputation. You didn't need to witness every action yourself. You learned from the experiences of others. In small groups of 30 to 100 people, information traveled fast. A liar couldn't escape their own reputation. Not for long. Every broken promise spread like smoke through the camp. And every new lie became harder to believe. But something even stranger happened. People began avoiding chronic liars altogether. Not through violence. Through exclusion. And for ancient humans, exclusion was one of the harshest punishments imaginable. Being alone today can feel uncomfortable. Being alone 30,000 years ago was often a death sentence. A single person couldn't hunt large animals alone. They couldn't defend themselves while sleeping. They couldn't care for sick children without help. Survival depended on the group. If the group stopped trusting you, something terrifying happened. You slowly disappeared from daily life. People stopped asking for your advice. They stopped sharing food. They stopped inviting you on hunts. When danger came, they chose someone else. No dramatic execution. No prison. Just silence. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar believes humans evolved unusually large social networks. That meant reputation became one of our greatest assets. Lose your reputation, and you could lose your future. But here's the mystery. If lying was so dangerous, why do humans still lie today? Because evolution never tried to eliminate lying. It tried to balance it. Sometimes deception increased survival. A hunter might exaggerate his strength to scare away rivals. A parent might hide fear to keep children calm. Someone might bluff during a conflict to avoid violence. Occasional deception could help. Habitual deception could destroy everything. Natural selection rewarded both intelligence and the ability to detect dishonesty. That's why humans are surprisingly good at noticing tiny social clues. A delayed answer. A changing story. A strange expression. None of these prove someone is lying. But together, they make us suspicious. Could this instinct have begun around ancient campfires? Many scientists think so. Every conversation became a silent test of trust. Every promise carried invisible risk. Every story was judged against memory. Over thousands of generations, humans became experts at reading one another. Not perfectly, but well enough to survive. Then something remarkable happened. Honesty became something bigger than survival. It became culture. Parents taught children not to lie. Elders praised truthful people. Stories celebrated loyalty. Communities rewarded those whose words matched their actions. Long before written laws, our ancestors were already enforcing invisible rules. Not with swords, not with chains, but with trust. And trust was harder to rebuild than almost anything else. The strange truth is that ancient humans probably didn't punish most liars with violence. They punished them by believing them less. One small lie became two. Two became 10. Eventually, even the truth sounded false. That may be the cruelest punishment of all. Because once nobody believes your words, your voice begins to disappear. Thousands of years have passed since those ancient campfires. Our cities are larger. Our technology is unimaginable. But our brains haven't changed as much as we think. Even today, we choose friends we trust. We avoid people who repeatedly deceive us. We build our lives on reputation. The world looks modern, but every conversation still carries an ancient question. Can I trust you? And perhaps that's the oldest survival test humans have never stopped taking.